Fire Dragon that we need to review? I swear I left it right here. Hello everyone and welcome back to a TTV Reviews. Today we're talking about Ninjago Winter 2022. The set in question, Kai's Fire Dragon Evo. This is set number 71762, retails for about $30, yeesh, has about 204 pieces, and these will appear on store shelves on January 1st. We first of all want to thank LEGO for sending us this set, but everything we say in this video is our own opinions and is not swayed by LEGO being awesome and sending us this set. So without further ado, let's talk about Kai's new Fire Dragon.
Yes, and it is definitely a smaller end Fire Dragon, especially considering the last Fire Dragon we got being much, much larger. So this continues the Evo wave, and this is the largest, technically the second largest of the Evos, the largest being the next set we're going to review. Oh boy, alright. You want to talk about the build first? Or I guess color scheme first.
Yeah, let's talk about the color scheme. So the color scheme is your traditional Kai color scheme. You've got like Firehouse Red, and then orange, gold, a little bit of gray, a little bit of black, and then just a splash of brown. So that's the colors you'll find on this set, which match actually Kai's G except for his pants. But yeah, it's very traditional. You know, you find this in almost every single Fire Dragon set. I honestly, that's the color scheme.
Yeah, no.
I guess there's nothing more to say about it. You know, there's a few white pieces for the claws, but it's incredibly traditional. It's not, anything that strays away.
It's a really great Toa Tahu dragon from 2001. I agree.
This looks like, something that would appear in G2. I said the infamous words. We're going to continue now. So let's talk about the build now. So LJ, to walk us through the build of this dragon and what it means for it to be an Evo set.
So this is an interesting one because it is one of two Evos that have 3 iterations, or at least one of the 2 Evos we were sent to have 3 iterations. So the first one is a smaller dragon called Companion. And this is really basic. It's short, it's stumpy, it has no gold, it has a short tail, it has no wings. It is a bare bones basic dragon. Then we move on to Flight Ready. It gets some short wings, it gets a longer tail, it gets a longer torso, and we kind of add on to some of the things that were there outside of the dragon. We start off in companion mode with this little drone and the Serpentine with the drone. In Flight Ready, we get another Serpentine with these giant wings and a chain to tie up the dragon. Finally, Battle Ready mode is its complete form. That's where we add the rest of the tail. We add gold armor. We add longer wings. We're adding blades to the side of the dragon. It really gets an upgrade. And this is its final form. Now, I'll be honest. There's no reason outside of play that you would have this dragon in either of the previous forms. You are doing it a disservice. It looks incomplete in the prior stages because, quite frankly, it is incomplete. In this final form, it definitely looks like a bit of a beefier dragon. It's got all the gold, all the armaments. It has this neat kind of pattern from the Seabound blades. The shaping is a lot better, except for maybe on the back legs and bits and pieces of the feet, I suppose. It looks like a proper finished dragon. And that's why the Evo idea, to me, isn't as much of it's not a hot selling point as much as I think it's being advertised as. It's a neat idea. I just don't think that it's, back of the box worthy, as it were.
Speaking of back of the box, it heard you and it was like, well, you're not allowed to look at me anymore.
Some of the shaping I'm also not terribly jazzed about. I think the bottom of the dragon is a tad shallow is the word I'm going to use right now. It's just very basic. It's very flat. The back legs, back thighs, I guess, don't like these. They're very triangular and sharp, and they don't really mesh with anything else, especially with the hats on them. I don't like the legs. The front legs especially are long and spindly with these thin ankles that look just really awkward and honestly adolescent. This feels like an adolescent dragon that's just really awkward. It's like, hey guys, hey, can I come to your cool party? Also not terribly jazzed about the wings. I love the piece. I love the piece and I love the molding. It's beautiful. It looks great in the light. But the only articulation those wings have are up and down. And they're very forward facing. Like, what's this guy supposed to do? He's not really flying. He's not giving himself propulsion. He's just reaching out and grabbing something with these tiny claws at the front of the wings. Overall, again, it's a bit of a stiff dragon. We've talked briefly about the new SCCBS pieces, the system, character and creature building system, and I like seeing them on mechs. I'm not jazzed about their usage on these dragons. It just feels like they're being used on people that are walking on all fours. I think it's marginally better in this one than it was on Jay's, but they're still lanky, they're still thin. I don't feel they're too becoming of a dragon set personally, but this is certainly better. We also do have a really cool head mold, though the articulation is limited to the jaws and in an up and down motion. So it's better.
Mm-hmm. It is definitely better than the previous dragon that we reviewed. I do agree with everything he said. My other negative that I am not huge fond of is actually this bottom jaw piece. I think it is way too big for the top jaw. Like it seems to like the overbite is...
No, it's an underbite. That's what that's called.
That's what's called, the underbite?
Yes.
Well, the underbite just seems to like really, really underbite him, and it just, I don't know, it feels like he's got a lot going on down here and not a lot going on up here. So that is my only takeaway from this build wise. So
yeah, it's just, again, I think it appeals to someone. I certainly think that it does. It just doesn't appeal too much to me. It does feel like it feels squarely like a 6+ set. That is a perfect spot, maybe even 7. But which of course would be 6+. But
yeah.
I just feel like the legs do it a great disservice. They aren't very dragony. Though the shaping in the feet is a lot better. I do appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. So one thing I will say about the dragon, though, it is very sturdy. Like, you know, I'm shaking this right now and nothing is shedding off. Like, it's definitely like a action figure sort of play toy. You can beat this dragon up and nothing really is going to come off of it. There's a few places where, like, things are just barely clipped on. I'm thinking kind of like the sensei hats back down here, the swords up here, maybe even like these tooth blades or whatnot. But other than that, this is a very, very sturdy play toy. So unlike, you know, other more magnificent and bigger dragons, this can survive the rough house of children's imaginations, while those will probably be better off collecting a little bit of dust in higher spots in the rooms. So yeah, but that is the one good thing about the dragon. It's not really going to go anywhere when played with. So
that's fair.
But yeah, place this down. You want to move on to some minifigures?
Yes, let's discuss some minifigures. We have two.
Yeah, we'll talk about the little tiny build though.
Oh sure. So it's a drone.
That's a really creatively done drone.
Yeah, these are frying pans. Yeah, I like it.
That's so smart.
I like the color scheme. It's orange, gray, black, silver, and turquoise. It also has the new stud shooter mold, which has a lever instead of a ridge.
Let's see if you can hit my hand.
Easily miss it.
You hit my thumb, though, so I'll give you credit. And then it vanished off into the ether.
Works very well. It works not only with flat tile studs, but the traditional 1x1 studs as well, which is kind of interesting. It's very versatile. It definitely aims a little high, but it works wonderfully. And I like the push down lever instead of just the ridge. It's very easy to play with.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about some minifigures. We've got 2 Serpentine in this set. We've got the return of Cobra Mechanic, who is flying the drone. And then we have Boa Destructor with his little gliding wings and a giant chain, kind of reminiscent of Hunted, to chain the dragon up. So, and then I love the flyers, and I love kind of like what looks like fluffy cakes on his back. I think it looks like little cakes, you know?
They're turbines.
Well, they're turbines, but they look like, cakes. But yeah, and I find it so interesting that the Serpentine are associated with turquoise. It's something that I would never have thought would go well with it, but it does, and it works very well. So kudos to that inclusion of color. So, all right, let's talk about Kai.
Kai looks very good. We have a traditional Firehouse red, which is usual for him. However, it is matched not with orange like the dragon, but instead with Chima yellow, or Keat orange, as I'm used to calling it. It's this bright flame yellowish orange, and I think it's fine. I know why they did it. They did it because Cole has orange.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense, but it works very well for him. He's got this flame pattern on the left side, as well as the bright orange left arm. This iteration of Kai has a turkey stick. It's a turkey leg.
Either for him or the dragon. We're not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe both.
The answer is in the instructions, which we'll get to in a moment.
Right.
He does have his hairpiece with the headband, and the face mold, the face print is the same. The legs are burnt orange, which I find kind of cool because the print extends, and the printing is very well done. So it's a good-looking minifigure.
It is. They do. Of course, we saw this in the Temple set. He has a really, really cool G. Of course, the flames coming all the way down the side on the right hand, with his, again, a little symbol kind of near his thigh. But yeah, I think that this Chima orange or Chima yellow. Chima yellow looks really good on Kai. It almost seems to match like the wings of the dragon that are translucent orange, but is a close kind of it's closer to that color than just regular orange on the dragon. So it works really well. I'm very happy with it. Kai, of course, looking hot as usual. So, and I just dropped him.
Well, snuff that flame out.
There you go.
Yeah. Overall, I don't have much more to say. I think that it is a better dragon than Jay's, but I don't. At the risk of sounding derogatory, I don't think that was a high bar to clear.
Yeah.
It's better, but it's definitely not a dragon I'm going to think back on and be like, yeah, that's a really good Ninjago dragon. Yeah. I think it's a fine toy, it's a fine play figure, but it's not one I'm going to think fondly back on. And I don't think it's the strongest showing of what the SCCBS could potentially be. But as a start, it's serviceable, most certainly. I really want to see that used in a more, I don't know, organic Ninjago way.
Yeah, I feel like if you take those pieces and you really build on it, then it could work. It's either going to be like small scale or large scale, I feel like is going to work really, really well with it.
Yeah, potentially.
So we'll see. One other thing to say about the dragon, and I kind of, hinted at it in the intro. This dragon retails for $30.
Yeah.
And it only has 204 pieces.
Yeah. Now, granted, it's not a hard and fast rule that you're going to get your money's worth. So the general idea is that for every 100 pieces, it equates to about $10. So for a 204 part set, you would figure it leaning toward 20, but it's 30. I don't know if I can safely say that this is a $30 play experience.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like $30 worth of material is here. I feel like if there were something else, if there was a little bit more, like maybe make the dragon larger or longer, or add another additional construction perhaps. But right now it feels 20.
It does feel like a $20 or $25 set, especially for those wings. I think the wings are the only thing that might bump it up, but maybe 25 would be appropriate. But it just, especially since there's another set that we're reviewing that's $30, and it is a bit, if not a lot more impressive looking than this. And it feels like you get what you, the bang for your buck really for it. But yeah, that's all I have to say about the dragon. I do want to say one more thing before we wrap up, and that has to do with the instructions. So, why am I talking about the instructions, you say? This is the first time I think we've ever talked about the instructions in an Ninjago review, and that's because there is a new function to be found as you're building. As you build these sets, there is a story to be told, and it is told through illustrations, which is super, super cool. And it totally talks about, or it builds on the imagination of kids as they're building it. So I'll see if I can find a little illustration for, as an example. Here's a good one. Boom! You get stuff like this all throughout the building experience as you level up the dragon and you get the story to be, or evolve, Evo. You get little stuff like this, which makes it so much more fun to turn each page while you're building. So I hope you pick one of these up, one of these Evos up, or one of these Ninjago Winter Wave sets to see that for yourself. So, anything else you got to say about the dragon?
Not really. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. It's not for me. It seems like it's a little high in the price point. But it will appeal to someone. It's certainly not aimed at us necessarily. Yeah. But there's someone out there who would definitely find some enjoyment. If you're a completionist, you're going to want it anyway. If you're a fan of Kai, it's hard to go wrong. I think you will still enjoy it. And the Kai minifigure is especially good. So this is a pretty good way of getting a hold of that. So there's a lot to enjoy about this. Maybe if not necessarily us. Yeah, this definitely feels like something for a younger audience. So kids would love to play, beat around this thing, put it into their, toy bin or whatnot. Like, this is a good solid toy to be played with. So I would say this is a good Christmas gift, but it enters store shelves on January 1st. So birthdays, I guess. I'm not sure when the next Gift-Giving thing. Maybe next Christmas. We'll see what happens till then. But yeah, that is the Kai's Fire Dragon Evo set number 71762. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I am Sensei Wolf. I'm LJ.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.